Hello and welcome to my October reading wrap-up. This one I actually had a pretty good reading month because I actually read 6 books. And if you have not been following along, if you don't know, I've actually been in a book slump. And the reason why I did that was because I'm reading books and I've been reading a lot of books. But the thing is ever since February, when I read it, not then she was gone. When I read If Only I Had Told Her by Lauren Allen, I love that book, and it was my 5 stars, and it has been only my 5 stars from this entire year. And if you stay tuned to see if in October, November, or December that actually does change, if I find another 5 stars. But I have not found another 5 star. Well, let's see in this video. Stay tuned to see if I find a star, and if I don't, then subscribe to help me find a 5, or not help me find, but to see if I find a 5 star in November and December. But let us start off with the first book I read, which was Good Girl, Bad Blood, which was in a video when I finished all the series I'm in the middle of. And this one is a trilogy, and it's part of a Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. I have the book here, but I'm actually loaning it to someone. This is the second book in it. So I'm only missing reading one book, which is actually this one, which is As Good as Dead. And what this series follows a girl named Pip, and she's like a detective. So the first one followed her where she was going, so she did I swear she was a senior in that one. I swear, wasn't it her senior project? Now I might be wrong. I actually need to ask my friend because she's reading it now. But she, I swear that she was in senior year of high school, that when she went on to the Andy Bell case, which is a case where Andy Bell was murdered 5 years before she kind of took on the case, and it went cold. But they ruled out that her boyfriend, Saul, Saul, killed her, and she believed that that wasn't the case. So she went on to the case, and if you want to find out what happens, go ahead and read that book. But this one is not the Andy Bell case. It does have remnants to the Andy Bell and kind of what happened to her and stuff. But this one is completely different. I think with it, what I really like about it is she's not dragging out the story. It's not one of those things to where it's oh, Pitt found new evidence. It's actually, okay, we have that one. Now let's move on to another case. And this one is about Jackson, who is the brother or big brother of one of her best friends. And I think his name's Max. I can't remember, but he went missing right actually when the Andy Bell and Saul memorial was happening. He went missing then, and basically you kind of go into coincidence. And now here's the thing. No one went on to the case because, number one, he was an adult, and basically it was they can go and run off, which I know this is really bad. When I'm an adult and I get real mad, I can see myself doing that, running away and not coming back, just getting off steam for a little bit and not coming back for 2 days, and then come back, and then we're my parents, and I come back and there's police and my dad hugging, crying. Okay, that would be really bad. But I could sadly see myself doing this, but that was not the case in this one. But he's done that before, where he's been in arguments with his dad and just basically needed to run off and get some steam. But he was not really an argument. He just kind of ran away, or he didn't run away. He was missing for a little bit, and basically people didn't, okay, here's the thing. Everyone else thought that he was missing because he was angry and needed to cool off. But the family, or let's say the mom and the brother, didn't really believe that. So they really believed that he was missing this time. Now, Pip in the last book did not, basically vowed that she wasn't going to be a detective anymore. And then she went on to the case because she got really annoyed with the detective, or like the actual cop. And also this one, and I can't really remember in the first one, but this one, there is a little bit more prominent for the, I was going to say headphones, but yeah, I mean, yes, the headphones, but also the podcast. You get so much things with the podcast, and I honestly love that so much, like getting the information about the podcast and all that stuff. But there is one question that if I ever did get to meet Holly Jackson, that would be this. If I can find it. Let me find it. Oh, this one. Okay. This. Like, there's a picture of a knife in the grass. Did she take one of her kitchen knives and like dropped it in the grass and took a picture of it? Like, how did she do this? Like, that is like my question that I would love to ask her, like if I ever did get to meet her. But this one I gave a 4 stars. I really did enjoy it, and I really actually do enjoy this series. Alright, the next book I sadly DNF'd, but it kind of wasn't really a surprise to me. I know this was bad, but I kind of went into it thinking I was going to DNF it. It was in the same exact video. This one is They Both Die. Not They Both. Yeah, They Both Die at the end. And this is a sequel to the first to die at the end is this one. This is a sequel to They Both Die at the end. And I would say what this book is about kind of the first of Deathcast, like the first thing of Deathcast and kind of how it came about and all that stuff, and just basically how the world would be different, like people. And they also, what is interesting, he talks about 9/11 a lot, and where it's like, what do you think if those people knew? Like, if they got a call saying, hey, you're gonna die today, like, what do you think they would have done different? And kind of just been warned. I don't know. That it was just weird. Like, in both of the books, like, he talked about 9/11. It was interesting. But, did it actually take place in New York? Oh, it did, because he was in New York. I think it actually did take place there. Anyway, I didn't really like the first one. I thought the 2 main characters were annoying. I liked the concept, but I think the way it was executed wasn't good. I like the concept. I really do like the idea. I like the idea that there's this program that calls you on the day you're gonna die, and basically you know that, and you're gonna have like the best time of your life, or just kind of like live out the rest of your time just being really happy, and just live out the rest of your days, or your time, and your day, and your hours. But that, I do, like I said, I don't think the way it was executed was the best, and I do feel like you get so many point of views that just don't really matter, or at least because I didn't really pay attention. Maybe they did matter, maybe they did, but I wasn't really paying attention. So I did get to about like 100-ish pages, even though this is like 500 pages. So I would recommend this if you like They Both Die at the End, because this is just the background information. This is the beginning, and if you want more, I would so recommend that, but I don't think I would. I didn't really care for it. Alright, then we kind of turned it, well, not really turned it around, but we turned it around in a way by read The Cousins by Karen McManus, and I love Karen McManus so much. This one is actually a tiny bit different than her other books, because this one is where you are following a family, and you're following like a rich family who owns, what's it called? Like a resort on like an island and stuff like that. It reminded me a lot of We Were Liars, and the fact that but here's the thing, they know like their family, and they know like their grandparents and stuff like that. We Were Liars, but like it reminded me of that, and I loved We Were Liars so much. And this one was something that was just kind of, like I said, very different from any, like, one of the other books I read by Karen McManus, because it's either them, like, always, someone is murdered, and they go track it down, stuff like that. Actually, no, it's not. Actually, thinking about it, this is not really different, because what I like about her books is they're not they're not same structured, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like when you read a lot of the same author, it's, like, the same kind of structure in it. So it wasn't really, most of her books aren't really like that, but So you have Millie, which is Mildred, who's actually named after the grandmother. And then you have Aubrey and you have Jonah, and they are stories. And their grandmother disowned them when they were, or disinherited their parents when they were like younger and stuff. And basically, they get a letter from their grandma, and basically saying you will go and work at the place and you're going to come work here and, you know, meet your grandma in a way like that. So it was definitely very interesting with that. I also do have to say one thing is, if you are confused, if you're reading this, or if you're gonna read this, just note there's a family tree. This is actually going to be really helpful because I was looking at this after I read and I was like, because I really was so confused who parents were like with whose kid. Like Millie, I actually kind of knew, like, okay, her mom is Allison, but like the rest, I'm like, I don't know which one you belong to. So that was kind of a little bit different for me. Or not different for me. It was just kind of a little bit tricky and stuff. But not only that, it's really cool because you also get their summer, but then you also get their parents as kids, which I really do like. I thought that was like a really great concept and stuff. But I would definitely recommend anything by Karen McManus. I love her. And sadly, I have one more book left from her, like backlist, and I'm really sad about that. And that is Nothing More to Tell. So I'm really sad about that. I don't know why this is just so random, because I feel like I talk really fast. I feel like I can be on Gilmore Girls. Like, if they did a reboot of Gilmore Girls, I would love to be on it. Just saying. And if you did a movie on If He Had Been With Me, I would love to play Autumn. Okay? I would love to play Autumn. But I feel like it could be on Gilmore Girls because apparently they had so much dialogue because they were able to speak really fast. But anyway, I really like this book and I give this book a 4.75 stars. I love this so much. And I love her books. I love Karen McManus. She's like my favorite author of all time. I can't wait to find out what like book she's releasing next year. The next one I actually read, I'm really happy because I finished off a trilogy, a series that I've been working at for a year. Okay, not that bad, but a year. And that's the Caraval trilogy. I read Caraval last year, and then I read Finale. Legendary last month, and then Finale this month. And this is basically just a continuation, and I really like actually how it ended in a way. Like, I feel like it was such a great conclusion to it. And then I cannot wait to go into Once Upon a Broken Heart. Maybe that'll be next month, maybe that'll be next year. We will see. But I really did enjoy it. And basically, if you really don't know what the series is about, this just follows two. So it follows a game of Caraval to where there's magic and stuff involved. And two sisters, Scarlett and Tella, were very interested in the story. And Tella really, or was it Scarlett? One of those two really wanted to meet Legend, who was the game master, the head, the person who created all the games. And just basically wanted to be part of it and to see what it was like because they were so intrigued with it. And I really did have to say that it was fun. But I do have to say I do not recommend reading any fantasy book or series with year in apart because I do have to say I really did not remember what happened in Caraval while I was reading these books. And also I did say I actually listened to this through audiobook because I feel like fantasy for me, I comprehend it more and I know it more and I can picture it more and I grasp the information more or the story more when I listen to it and then read it, because then I just feel like I'm so concentrated on either saying the name right, the name of the town right, the name of the spells right. Because I feel like the only book fantasy book I could fully sit down and read is Harry Potter. Love that one. But this one was definitely a kind of, yeah. Okay, this one I gave a 3.75 stars. Really loved it. Really loved Caraval. And I cannot wait to go to Once Upon a Broken Heart series. Now, this one was in a video where I did a 24-hour reading challenge, and I feel like I can do better. It wasn't that great. So maybe next year, maybe in this year we'll do a 24-hour reading. But we have, first book we read in that video is The Invisible Girl by Lisa Jewell. I want to say The Invisible Girl. And this book is about, okay, I can never say the main character's name, or one of the main character's name, because it follows 3 point of views. It follows Surfree, Owen, and then, who was it? Claire, I think. Why can I not remember? Owen. Okay, it's gonna be here, right? Okay, Safri. Okay, Kate. So it follows those, like, 3 characters, and they all are entwined and connected at some point. So Safri, she actually 3 years spent as a patient for Dr. Force, which is Kate's husband, and he is a, therapist for kids who actually harm themselves or just kind of in a very bad mental state and stuff like that. So he does that. She goes through that, and there's actually stuff that she has not even told him. Like, there's a big secret that she has not told him. And I do also have to say with it is, one thing I don't like about therapists is you're basically telling them your entire life story or your entire problems to a stranger. Yeah. Anyway, and then Owen just basically lives next door. He's a professor that got fired from his job. And then you have Kate, who's just like a stay-at-home mom. Don't know what she does for work. She does do something for work, but pretty much a stay-at-home mom. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But Safri goes missing on Valentine's Day. And basically she goes missing, and the last person to see her is Owens. And because Owens is kind of marketed as like a weird dude, and kind of just crazy, he basically is really a big suspect in this because everyone's going, you did it. And so that's pretty much the thing without spoiling it. And I gave this book a 4 stars. I really did like it. And I also did read last year, I read Then She Was Gone, which I gave a 5 stars. I loved it so much. I did have to say this book did not give me that feeling that Then She Was Gone gave me. It didn't really give me that, like, spooky, uneasy feeling at the end. But I still really enjoyed it. Hey, the last book I read this month was The Haunting by Natasha Preston. I do have to say this year I've been reading a lot of Natasha Preston books, or like these like past couple of months, because last month I read 2 from her. This year I read this one. This month I read this one. So this one is The Right Holiday this time. And that was basically, okay, so Penny, her ex-boyfriend Nash's father went on a killing spree during Halloween last year and killed 5 teens, I think what it was, like a serial killer thingy. And basically he been locked up, and basically everyone hates Nash and his sister and thinks that, oh, they're crazy too because they follow in their dad's footsteps, you know? So what happens is, this year for Halloween is like with that 1/8th anniversary, she's basically, Penny still kind of really wanted to talk to Nash, even though like her parents won't let her, even though like the whole town won't let her and all that stuff. And she really wants to talk to Nash. But there's a new set of killings. There's a new serial killer out on the loose. And of course everyone is pointing fingers to Nash and his family. But she still basically, right as these things like start happening, she starts talking to Nash again and all that stuff. And I think you really see kind of how she really kind of like works it out with Nash, and basically Nash throughout this and stuff. So it was a really good book, and I really did enjoy it. I would definitely have to say, if you really want a fast-paced book, I would recommend Natasha Preston's. I love her book so much. Like, I could not put this down. Also, one of the big annoying things about it is it's left on a cliffhanger. Didn't really like that. But there's a book in the back here called The Island that I really want to read. But this one I'm really also excited because this one is actually signed by her. So this one is actually, I think I actually got this for Christmas last year. I was gifted this from my dad. So I was really happy I was able to actually finally read it. I also did just realize that in every single, pretty much on every cover per book, there's a flower. It's not like always a rose. Maybe it is a rose. Actually, I don't know flowers, but it's interesting that there's always a flower. And this, if I ever met Natasha Preston, I would definitely ask, why is there a flower? Like, why do you choose flowers? And why do you choose, and then, whatever, like, a simple title, which I really do like, because it's easy to remember. But this one I gave a 4.75 stars. Like I said, I really did enjoy it. I could not put it down, and I would recommend it. So next month is November. I don't think we're going to be getting a lot of reading vlogs because, guys, stay tuned for December, because in December, if you know, Vlogmas, that's like always the thing, which I'm actually not going to do Vlogmas because my life is not that interesting, because I normally have school, sports. This is seriously how my day. Wake up, school, sometimes sports. Right now it's like basketball conditioning. I do have to say, high school sports, different level of like intensity. Like seriously, like if you thinking about high school sport, just be ready, because I've like been really sore. Like you're just like practicing, like it's not even that, because I don't really think I've touched an actual basketball in a couple of weeks. I'm just doing conditioning, like you doing strength and conditioning. And so, I do strength and conditioning, I don't know. And like with the running and stuff. So you're doing conditioning for the basketball and stuff, and I really enjoy that. So, yeah, the sports, and then you go home, do homework, then I read, or sleep, or watch YouTube. And then I sleep. That's seriously what my day consists of. So again, pretty boring life. Okay. I said a pretty boring life, but I will be doing Bookmas, which is basically Vlogmas, but just 12 days of book content. So stay tuned for that. And that is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll link all the videos that these books were in, if there was a reading vlog to them this month. But that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed, I hope you guys have a good night, good day, wherever you are, and goodbye.